I woke up to the sound of something moving outside our hut. It was slow, soft, like a body dragging across the ground. At first, I thought it was an animal. But then I heard whispering. A voice, low and hissing, speaking to my sister, Adama. I held my breath and listened. "Come," the voice said. "It is time." I turned my head and saw Adama sleeping out of bed. She was moving strangely, like she wasn't fully awake. Her eyes were half open, her lips slightly parted, like she was in a trance. She walked out into the night. And I followed. It all started a few months ago when a stranger came to our village. A tall man, dressed in fine clothes, his skin smooth and dark, his eyes sharp and never blinking. He was quiet but polite, always speaking in a low voice. No one knew where he came from. He had no family, no history. But he was rich. He brought gifts, gold, fabric, even a white horse. When he asked to marry Adama, my father did not hesitate. The bride price he offered was too much to refuse. At first, Adama seemed happy. She laughed, she danced. But then, she changed. She stopped eating during the day. She barely spoke. At night, I would hear her whispering to someone, but whenever I checked, she was alone. I knew something was wrong. And now, I was following her into the forest, my heart pounding. She walked deeper and deeper, not looking back. The trees grew taller, the air colder. I wanted to call her name, to grab her and pull her back. But fear held me still. Then, in the clearing ahead, I saw him. Her husband. But he was no longer a man. His body stretched and twisted, his fine clothes melting away. His legs disappeared, his arms pulled into his body. His skin turned black and shiny. He was a snake. A giant, terrifying snake, taller than any man, thick as a tree trunk. Adama knelt before him, her face calm. She whispered, "I am ready." I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. The snake lowered its head, opening its mouth. No. Something inside me snapped. I ran forward, grabbing Adama's arm. She gasped, as if waking from a dream. The snake hissed, its tongue flicking in the air. "Adama, come with me," I begged. She looked at me, confusion in her eyes. "He is my husband," she whispered. "He is not human," I shouted. The snake's body coiled, ready to strike. But then something changed. Adama blinked. She looked at the creature, really looked at him, as if seeing him for the first time. Her breathing quickened. She stepped back. The snake let out a deep, rumbling sound. "You belong to me," it said. "No," Adama whispered. "I don't." The moment she spoke those words, the snake let out a terrible scream. The ground trembled. The trees shook. And then, in the blink of an eye, the snake was gone. The forest was silent again. I grabbed Adama's hand, and we ran. By the time we reached home, the sun was rising. My parents rushed to us, asking where we had been. But Adama just shook her head, tears streaming down her face. She never spoke of her husband again. His hut stood empty, untouched. Some people said he had simply left. Others whispered that he was never human to begin with. All I know is that Adama was free. And sometimes, late at night, I still hear hissing in the distance. But now, when Adama hears it, she does not answer. If you ever meet a stranger who seems too perfect, too mysterious, be careful. Some things are not what they seem. Like and subscribe for more real horror stories.